Hello, 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 Facebook family. How are you tonight? Thank you for coming out tonight. This is Spirit Love, Diane, and we are going to have an awesome night tonight with our guests. But before we get started, I just want to put out a disclaimer. This platform discusses any and all information that is known to the public and that are opinions of the host and guests. We use sources that are unconventional and conventional. Bridging through conversations is in no way to be offensive to any persons, groups, or organizations. It creates open conversations needed to close gaps in topics others may not be willing to discuss. The information is alleged to others, but are truths to having open conversation. Okay. I thank you so much for coming out, guys. Tonight, hi. Tonight we're gonna have a special guest tonight. He's one of my co-workers. Hi, my Facebook friends out there. How you doing? I see all of the hearts and all of the haze out there, and I just want to say, hey. Hi. Listen, tonight, guys, our word tonight. Okay, let me bring that Tasha. Let me bring the other host in. Hi, Tasha. How are you? Can we get some sound? While she's trying to get some sound, I'm gonna let you know tonight, guys. You know we've been doing a word series. Last month we started in September. And we come into this. This is our last word for today. Hi. This is our last word for today, guys. And our word for tonight is inclusivity. Okay. Now listen, guys. I'm going to go back and I'm going to give y'all these words again because we're going to have at the beginning of November, we're going to bring all these words together again, and we're going to tell you, see what theme comes together, with all of these words for last month, okay? But in September, we did emotions, where the guest was Karen, my sister, on the 6th. Then we did racism, which was Pastor Michael Glenn. Then we did prejudice, which was Darnell Edwards. Then we did love, where we brought all of the guests in, and we brought together all of those words and seeing how do we come to love with all of these words into play, and bring them on to combine them in, that we can also bring out love with those words, okay? And then in October, our very first word from Apostle Ross was hate. Then we talk about unity with Leslie. Then we talked about communication last week with Prophetess DeBronda. Hi, nephew. How are you, Kai? And tonight, guys, we're going to do, again, inclusivity with my coworker, which is Chaplain Jason Campbell, okay? And he's been on here before. And we talked about of his beliefs and things like that, y'all. That's why I wanted him to do inclusivity, because I knew he was going to bring it to you in a broad way, not just bring it to you like what the definition is and all that stuff. He's going to bring it to you from all different kind of angles. And some angles, some people might not be pleased with it. That's why I always do a disclaimer and say that these truths are the truths of the guests and the host, okay? Because we're doing unconventional and conventional ways of defining these words and the way that we live these words in our lives, okay? So without any further ado, I think right now Tasha's having a little bit of problem, but then she'll come in. But I'm going to bring Jason in so he can introduce himself again to the ones that's new to this live, and you may not have seen him on the last one, okay? So I'm going to bring him in, okay? Hi, Jason.
Hello. Can you
How
hear me?
are you? I can hear you very well, okay? Thank you, thank you for coming in. What I want to do first, I want you to introduce yourself again, okay?
Okay. I am Jason Campbell, one of the
Are you
co-workers
kidding me?
with
Now
Pam.
my camera doesn't work.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm a silence her. She's trying to get herself in. Go ahead, do it again, Jason. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I'm Jason Campbell. I've been knowing Pam since 2018. We've been chaplains together for since 2018. I'm one of the staff chaplains, Level 1 Trauma Hospital, Carolinas Medical Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a new dad of 4 months, so you may hear some cries. And I'm doing okay. Sorry, I'm in my work uniform still. Just got home, so welcome, or not welcome, but hey to all. Nice to be back.
Well, I thank you for coming back, because I know that you're going to bring it from a different angle, which I am fine with, and you know that, because we can roll together with this thing of inclusivity and all other kind of things when it come down to religion, and when it come down to people in general, and how we emerge with people, right? So I think that inclusivity. You remember when we first said this word inclusivity? Where were we when we said this word the first time? You remember?
Fifth floor, Rob.
We was at a diversity. We was at a diversity meet conference.
Oh wow!
You remember? And you said that you were going to name your church Inclusivity. And then I to write that down, so you won't never forget that your church will be named Inclusivity, and you cannot move back from that name. Okay?
I'll move back from the church, from the institution, but never move back. Never move back from the name.
Okay. What about if we don't call it an institution, if we just call it a meeting place?
If you want to, I feel better just embodying inclusivity, living it out, and doing my best to to include everyone. I put it like that.
Yeah, and I agree. And I agree with you 100%. So, I always say that I sent out questions to all of the guests, right? And I just want you to give me your definition of what inclusivity means.
Hmm. You know what? For me to define inclusivity, I think for me it is the non-judgmental coming together of people of all different faith backgrounds or no faith background at all in the regular traditional religion sense. I think it's the coming together of minds, of hearts, of emotions, of rights. Um, it's the word coming together as one. That's for me. That's what inclusivity is, with the non-judgmental, empathetic spin to it.
Yeah, I agree. And now the dictionary says, and basically in a nutshell, that's what the dictionary says that inclusivity is. We always give our definition of it because we live it, right? And it's what we consider, what inclusivity means, inclusiveness, right? And it says the practice of policy of providing equal access and opportunities and resources for people who might otherwise be excluded or marginalized, right? And we know now and we see, around, and then as us being chaplains, that we even see it and hear it, from people that we visit sometimes and just people that we talk to, our coworkers and stuff like that, right? So
Mhm.
we do see that we don't have that that wholeness of people coming together and not judging or anything
Yeah.
like that because because we work in and we live it. We live it
Mhm.
also.
Yeah. There's oftentimes a wall up with people, and that wall separates hearts. That wall separates people for being authentic to each other. But I think right now, at least in 2021, people are they're getting to a place of free expression, and then there's times where the wall of religion could be, or the wall of being closed minded, the wall of hate, just a lot of different barriers to being inclusive happens, and uh, we're we have to do better. But I think we're getting around that.
Yeah, I think so too in some way. Slowly, but we're getting there. So if you had to be an activist, you know, I know that we are. I know that you are, but I just want you to share it with viewers. But if you would be an activist of inclusiveness, inclusivity, how would you go about doing it to be
Um,
a spokesperson for it?
yeah, I guess for me personally, there was some personal work for me.
Mhm.
There's a sense that I was tired of not being able to fully embody my thoughts, my feelings, my beliefs around certain people, and just getting fed up with it. Once I started to become comfortable in my own skin, in
Yeah,
my own selfhood, my own beliefs, and things of that nature, I was able to um, more embody being inclusive to people that are also closed up in their thoughts, in their minds, in their beliefs. For me, it's personal work that turns into other work, otherness,
yeah,
um, where I can advocate in a sense of going to the LGBTQ parade, going to fundamental conservative churches of my friends that I have no beliefs in, but still being able to be there for people, be able to celebrate with people, be able to go to different churches where one of my friends is being ordained and not have that same belief system. Those type of actions that I am taking, that I will continue to take, to step into those spaces where I wouldn't be invited some years ago, but still be there.
Yeah.
um, those everyday actions, it's is holding my son when he's crying and say, hey, it's okay to cry.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
um, being inclusive of his emotions, of his feelings at that time. It's the little things that add up.
Yeah. No, I like the way you brought that in, as in it don't always have to be a group to include things, right? For
Hmm.
inclusiveness, right? It could also be like the other words that we had, right? It could also be like our emotions, our
Yeah.
feelings and things. Okay, let's include those things. Let's be inclusive about, those feelings and things. It's good how you brought that in with that. Because
So
sometimes people think that inclusive only with a group of people or a group of situations, stuff like that. But it's actually it is actually how you feel. Like for an example, the other day I was I can't even remember where I was or what I was looking at, but it was talking about men crying, right? And it was saying that men don't cry. And I was looking at the View, and one of the
hmm
ladies was on there, and she was saying that the very first thing that they tell the Hispanic, the Mexican community when a son is born, is that you don't cry.
yeah.
And they say it in Spanish to them, and they keep that in them that they don't cry. But no,
Hmm.
you included in these tears. You included in these tears also, male and female. I don't care what you
I
are.
hear you. Yeah.
Included. Yeah,
That's there's I think that's the extra part to the like to the wholeness of inclusivity.
yeah,
The sense of including whatever arises internally, whether it's anger, whether it's joy, whether it's grief, whether it's excitement. If we can personally include what's going on inside of us, it will be easier to
yeah,
include what's going on in somebody else's life, a certain person, a certain group, But it's for me, it's just been a personal work, a personal job for me, something I'm still working on.
yeah,
But I can see the fruit and the benefit of it as I work towards including um, others from the standpoint that I am including my my full self.
yes. Yeah, and I like that because you know what? I didn't even when I thought about this word, I didn't even think about it in those terms, right? As including emotions and feelings and things like that. I always thought I'm always thinking about groups because you know how I am when it comes to people. I'm like, we need to include it. Everybody is included to this table, and that's the way I feel about, like with people. But it is the same way, with your feelings and with your emotions. They're included in the group also. Just because
Mhm.
you this, just because you that, all macho man or whatever you are, you're included in these feelings and emotions. Everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Um, we're definitely getting there. But I think as I mean, I'll continue to say that. I think as we fully embody or fully include all of us, we'll be able to fully include people that we just never thought will be a part of our of our hearts. I put it like that. You don't
Yeah,
really have to like you don't have to like a person to include them in your heart, to have a positive regard for them, to have a to have to have an open heart, or to have a open heart, or a softened heart towards the issues that they may have. Um, it's deeper work. I put it like that.
And that's
Deeper.
true. That's true. Welcome, Tasha.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Tasha.
Hi, Jason.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's what I love this word so much because even when you brought it, I told you I was going to take it, right? I did because I love this word because as a society, as a world, and as a people, we don't have this word. A lot of us don't have this word in our vocabulary, nor in our lifestyle or anything like that, right? And it hurt other people because
Yeah.
they feel like that they're being, pushed to the side and they're not being seen. It's just like you just a blank space, in my life, and you're not real.
Yeah. That's the in that's the evil part of being exclusive. The opposite word of inclusive. That's that's why, from my own personal life, like I just got tired of being in a environment where exclusion was going on, whether it was from a belief system, a religious environment, an emotional environment. We I just I can't I started to hate being exclusive. I put it like that, and just wanted to make some changes because you know people bleed red, and I bleed red. We're flesh and blood. There are reasons why people behave in their in a certain in their way. So when I started to look underneath, the behaviors of people, when I started to look underneath the belief system of people, um, it just started to become clear that people are in pain, they are hurting, they are looking for meaning and value and purpose, and they choose this faith background and that faith background, that philosophical position, life stance, but yet beyond all of that, this person is human, and they deserve to be valued, to be supported, to be included.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
hmm
Tasha.
I was just thinking as Jason was talking, that I believe probably within the last year, maybe a little, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give myself 2 years, maybe, that I began to speak more on the terms of inclusivity.
Mm.
And because of my background and where I come from as far as church is concerned and the traditional standpoint, that word was non-existent.
Yeah.
It was always exclusive or prestige or what have you. Your family, bought this church, or your family paid for this seat or whatever. So that meant that there was a certain group of people that was not included in this. They were not included in that event or what have you. It was like no outsiders. And so as I began to grow up and experience certain things, the word inclusivity began with it probably began longer further when I was younger, but I didn't understand what it is, what it meant to be inclusive. I didn't understand that. Now I get it. I'm understanding it more because of my experience with my sister in her life and what she represents as a person, period, as an individual. And I love her. And so she has taught me a lot about inclusivity, along with me watching Bishop Carlton Pearson and just just certain movies, real life stories. And when I watched the movie Come Sunday, that's when I really like opened my eyes to a lot of things. And since Spirit Love and I have been doing these lives every Monday, and we, I believe that's in the Spirit Love. You can correct me, on this, but I believe that's the root. Love is first, and then inclusivity is like so close behind love, because that's what we base our conversations on, is love. That's what we grounded on. That is the foundation of everything that we talk about, our topic. So this is to me, it's a powerful topic. It's a powerful topic, and it should not be hush hush.
Yeah. Yeah.
It should not.
Yeah.
I watched Come Sunday as well. Life changing movie, at least for at that time in my life. When you see Carlton Pearson in the beginning of the movie, where he was included, he was accepted, he was he was doing everything that was likable and that was popular for that for that group. And once he really started to include all of his emotions and his feelings and his beliefs about whatever it was, the people around him that used to love him, that used to accept him, completely turned his back on him.
Yeah.
When people have that type of experience, I have not been there to that point, but as I continue to find myself and be able to associate or to embody my own feelings and thoughts to a certain level, there is a sense of exclusion that it's just hard. It's hard to sit with. It's traumatic. It's a punch to the gut, to the heart, to the it rocks your very my very core. I'm speaking from myself. But it was just amazing to see how Carlton Pearson was able to overcome, and still able to overcome, by giving people what they did not give him, and that was inclusivity. It's amazing the way that people flock to him still. And I think for the everyday person, for the me's and the you's and the I's, for us, giving people what we were not fortunate to receive, can be life changing. It comes from a hurtful place, but that hurtful place is very empathetic, a very loving place.
Yeah. I think what Carlton Pearson did was open Pandora's box for a lot of people, that thought that they were like, I was talking to this young man, this weekend. I went to this retreat in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I was telling him that I always thought that something was wrong with me, right? Because I never thought about the Bible the way other people thought about it, right? And when they, set other people to the side and things like that, right? But when Carlton Pearson came out and did what he did, it was like, thank you, Jesus. Somebody else, saw the same thing, and I wasn't crazy. When I would talk to my family and stuff like that, I'm thinking, I bet they probably think I'm crazy or something, right? But I just felt like that what people reading from the Bible was totally wrong. And you reading this Bible about somebody that's a loving person, and then you hating this individual. I never could understand that, right? But I'm gonna tell you, I love Carlton Pearson for doing that. I even brought the book too. And but one thing about it, when you do start seeing the light. That's what I always say. Come into the marvelous light. And I do believe that's what happened to Bishop Pearson. And that's what's happening to a lot of other people now, that they're really reading and really understanding what is really meant about being the hand and feet and eyes and all that of God, right? And it's not to exclude anybody. It's to include everybody, because he would desire for all to know, right? And if he desire for all to know, you gotta mingle with people. You gotta love people. You just can't just be in it by yourself, because that's not what it's about, being in there by yourself. So I love what he did, but I'm gonna tell you, I've been trying my best to look at it again, but I just can't bring myself to look at it again, because I've been thinking about, how, you, like you said, Jason, in the beginning, how he was just included in everything, right? People was just eating his shoes. That's what I said. They were just eating him up. And then all of a sudden, when he started talking about true love, then everybody just ran away.
No,
Everybody just said, no, we're not loving everybody. We're not loving everybody, Pearson. Now you got to understand, just everybody just can't come up into this house now. And that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not. I was Christian. I'm definitely humanist, agnostic right now. There's the unknown that I have in my life right now, that I've been honing on to for I don't know, about a year and a half. And even in my group, which there's agnostic, atheist, free thinkers, in a sense. Even in that group, there's this facade of, we love everybody, and you go to the opposite extreme of Christians, of Muslims, of Jews, of people that are in mainstream religions, that say that, hey, we love everybody. My first thing is to cringe, even from my own personal belief system, and say, hold on, we're not including everybody. We don't get on Facebook Lives and speak with everybody. We're not. You don't see the atheist and the Christian mingle together, go out together, enjoy life together. There's something blocking it. And my question would be, as we talk about inclusivity, is what's really blocking us from truly loving, truly being there for people, no matter what belief system it is. Or is it fear? What is it?
Jason, I always think about that what is it about, like you say, what is it about the individual that you just cannot bring yourself to really truly love? Because love is just not saying the word. We talked about that. I'm going to read these statements because I like them. I often talk about this word love. I don't think people really and truly understand what love is, right? Because people will say, I love you, right? But you're not included in this right here. I love you, but you can't come over here, right? Or I love you, and this is in the sanctuaries, in the buildings, the physical buildings, right, of worship. I love you, but you can't come up here on this pulpit and say anything, right? Even though you're anointed just like they are, right? But you can't do this, or you can't do this, but I love you. But still you say that word love, but all the time you're saying that word love, you continue to exclude while you're saying it, right? So I don't think people really and truly understand what love means. I think that if we can truly put out what love really means, maybe we can get a true understanding of why people won't include other people or other groups or other things in. You understand what I'm saying?
I think the second statement that Vernine put up answers your question, Spirit Love.
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna read her other one also. Let me read that. Inclusivity and love should bring about humility. Once people learn those two things, then they can look at people like they look at themselves. And there are a lot of people that can't do that because they are really not in touch with how they see themselves. Is that what that is?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. They can't see themselves. And you know what? And
that's it right there.
What y'all think?
So it's a self-hate, in a sense?
In a sense, I would say also too, I would say that a person, in order for somebody to look at someone else, they would really have to understand themselves. So if they don't understand themselves, then it's going to be a confusion with how they look at somebody else.
Okay. It's a personal work, personal job first.
Yes.
Inside job.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when they say things, they just not being authentic about who they are, what they think, what they feel, and anything like that. So they just walk around perpetrating somebody that they want to live on the outside, but then on the inside, you're holding all of this stuff, all of this anger and hatred and stuff within you. Yeah. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I mean, from reading her statement, that's what I got from it. And thinking about my own personal experience, like I said before, my father, I was raised in church. That's my foundation. That's my background. My father was a pastor. My mother was a first lady. Yes, I grew up in all of that. And now with the experience that I've had, even with meeting a person that outright said that they are, atheist, I was so happy about that. I can't even tell you how excited I was when I met this individual, because we just simply looked at each other as individuals, as people, and not because of what our beliefs were, but just as an individual. And so because I began to learn to love myself for who I am and not try to change somebody else's thoughts and perspective, then I leave it like it is. But before, I wasn't like that. I was walking around with my nose snurred up at people, my face toe up, because I'm thinking that I'm better than you because I'm a PK kid and I can do what I want to do and I can say what I want to say and I can be who I am because my father was a pastor and this is the privilege that I get. These are the benefits that I have behind me. Well, that ain't right. So I had to get knocked down quite a few times. Absolutely.
Well, Jason, you can say something about that, can't you, Jason? Being raised up Pentecostal.
Yeah, raised charismatic, Pentecostal, speaking in tongues. Praying for a miracle. Sometimes hardly ever seeing anything. I just put it like that. but still believing all of that. I wasn't even allowed to read any Christian books. Joel Osteen, Joseph Prince. It was different. Everything had to be the Bible, King James version. There was, the Catholic faith that was demonic. You don't do that. Harry Potter. To this day, it's like can't do that. There were so many things that was excluded in my life to the point that, as you talk about personal stuff, and I've been trying to focus in on this. It got to a point that I was excluding a lot of things externally in my life. That after a while, everything that came up in my internal world was being excluded. I was not able to make meaning out of what was going on inside of me. I just denied it. I just said, this was not a part. This is not true. This is not a part of my life. But yet I'm feeling my feelings. I am experiencing frustration, anger, and just walking away from it. I was not including my personal world. So there was no daggone way that I could include other people. It starts with the person. It starts with the individual person, as you said, Tasha, and as you've been leading to Diane, Pam, Spirit Love.
Don't put me out there like that, Jason.
There's this self-love, this humble self-love that happened for me once I started to include my personal feelings, my personal experiences. That I was able to, and since I was becoming more comfortable with myself, I'm still able to reach out to other people of all different backgrounds and be okay in that group.
Yeah. So what you're saying, so Jason, what you're saying is the church put you in chains then. It's like the church put you in prison from the outside to be able to include, certain things in your life to be able to expand yourself out to inclusivity.
That's the thing. I'm trying to figure out how come people never get to that point, as it relates to some churches, to some denominations, to some ways of understanding the Bible. I'm not saying everything.
Right.
I'm not saying all. In my own experience, the freedom to think. No, I was told what to think. I was told what to believe. I was told what to say on this Easter Easter play.
You did not bring up Easter.
Just saying. the whole concept of freely being able to think for myself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to the point where I started to freely think for myself, the community, the people, just like for Carlton Pearson, the people that once accepted him or accepted me was no longer there.
Yeah.
So I'm left alone trying to figure it out. So
yeah, we helped you in IPR though, didn't we?
Nah.
Yes, we did. Just don't even try.
So even talking about that, Pam, our IPR, which was a interpersonal relational group that we had 2018 and 19, where a group of people spoke their hearts and spoke their mind in a safe environment. That's what the world need.
Yeah.
Those safe, brave, loving, inclusive spaces.
Well, guess what? Now, Spirit Love, you didn't happen to just mention something to Jason about what's brewing, did you? Or he just is he downloading something that you and I have been talking about that we're possibly thinking about doing as far as the safe space? And
I haven't said anything about it.
so that's confirmation right there.
He's psychic. Go ahead.
Hey, that's confirmation right there.
He's psychic, but he's gonna be. But I didn't say anything to him about it. But I am gonna say something to my coworkers about it. That I think that's a very safe place, and I think that because you said that, Jason, and I'm not gonna say I never. I have always. Well, in the beginning I did, but I so embrace our IPR, and I think everybody need to have like Jason said, a safe place like that, because like we said before, like what Neen said, is that if you don't know yourself, if you don't get to know yourself, not only on the outside, because you can beautify yourself up on the outside and look so fly and all that stuff, but on the inside, you toe up. You toe up from the inside of your toes all the way up to the inside of your head. You just toe up from the floor up, right?
Yes.
But if you have that safe place where you can express those things and begin to be healed, right? Because I think about when we were in the IPR, even though I've always been, again, that inclusive person, there was still some things that was inside. So you can be inclusive, right? Include everybody and stuff like that. But you still could have something on the inside of you that still need to be cleaned up so you could be a little more freer than what you are. So this safe place that we're talking about, when we begin to do it, we're not going to put it out right now, Taja. When we begin to do it, I think that it will open the door and open avenues for so many people to be able to come and express yourself and be more be more humble in yourself and be able to know yourself so you can bring other people in with you instead of always, doing this here. Get out of our space. We need that.
That sounds like a wonderful idea that you all are not really talking about, but talking about it at the same time.
Well, Tasha brought it up, and I didn't want to
alluding to it. Kind of got the people excited to hear what's next.
We're just preparing everybody, Jason. We're preparing everybody for this space, and because when we have viewers like Vernine, and we have viewers like yourself and Quan and other pastors and ministers that do watch us, we want to be able to talk about these things because inclusivity is a hot topic, like I said earlier, and it should not be hushed. And with that statement that Vernine said, no, the word inclusivity should not be hush. That's just as much a taboo word as dealing with people who live alternative lifestyles that other people don't deem normal. And that's another thing that I wanted to bring, to the forefront. When people don't see something as normal, then of course they're not going to look at you the way they see themselves, because deep down they feel themselves too as not being normal.
Yeah. Come on, touch on that a little more.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
What's up?
Bring it out some more.
The reason why I say that is because at one point in my life, growing up, I didn't see myself as normal. I just felt like that. Of course, there's nobody else like me. There's not going to be anybody else like me. I'm the only one.
They broke the mold.
Exactly. I am the only one. I'm very transparent. I don't mind sharing. I'm loud. I have been told that a lot of times, and I'm okay with that. I'm very outspoken at times. Y'all gonna hear me talk about my sister all the time. I love my sister. I love her for her, and she's helping me and educating me on alternative lifestyles. So that statement that I just made about a person looking at somebody else because deep down inside they don't feel that they're normal is because they're fearful of what other people are going to say or do or not do. Because guess what? They were included. I was included, but now that I'm speaking this way and in these terms, there are people somewhat, it doesn't matter now, but they're slowly dropping off and not including me anymore because of how I talk, because of what I believe, because of what I feel. Okay, well, it might not be normal to you that I talk like this, but it is okay for me to talk like this because I'm not hurting anybody intentionally. I just want to get to the bottom of it. I just want to get to the root and the foundation of it so we can figure it out, so it can be a place where we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to talk about these topics that we're talking about. And yes, as inclusivity is on the top. It's on the top.
Yeah.
This is not normal to people that feel like, okay, well, I was raised Baptist, or I was raised Kojic, or I was raised Presbyterian, or I was raised AME Zion, okay, or I was raised Pentecostal, or what have you. Okay, that's normal to them. But really deep down inside, you know you're not normal because you have thoughts of certain things, but you're scared to speak it out because of what is not going to be anymore, because of what is now.
Okay, now you're going into a totally different territory now.
I'm sorry.
Speak it out now.
No, I'm not. I ain't sorry. Forget
You
that.
know what? No, because that's what we're about. We include all topics, all conversations that people are not willing to talk about themselves about. And that's the thing that that I like about what both of you said when it come down to, you know, the building place and how people feel and how people exclude other people, but they got demons in there, you know, that they're not even willing to express themselves, and then they're excluding that out to be able to be healed from what's going on with them, so they can include people within themselves, right? So there's a lot of things that's going on that nobody want to talk about. You know, you always sweeping things up under the rug, but then you still want to exclude people, and then okay, that's going on another conversation, so I'm not even gonna say that one. But yeah.
Please, because guess what? Please. Now, I don't know why this is shifting now, but I was just thinking earlier when I finished with my little technical difficulties and I was listening, and Jason said something about and it is going to come to me, but I thought about how in the Bible Jesus was always around who? Not the people that were right or had it all together.
People that was
sinners, dirty people. People like us, all, you know, all messed up and tore up from the floor up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Common folk.
Common people.
Yeah. And with that being said, now did Jesus ever? I have never seen this in the Bible. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct me. I don't mind, as long as you write about it. But it has Jesus. I have not seen this in the Bible. Has Jesus ever excluded the Pharisees or the Sadducees? Did he exclude them?
No, he had conversations with them, didn't he, Jason?
That's what the biblical narrative says.
Yes.
That's what the words say. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is he didn't exclude them, but he gave them an opportunity to be included with what he was doing with the people that the Bible, you know, said that was not right, or and it's a scripture that was just read when we was at church. It was basically saying, I'm paraphrasing, it's basically saying, you know, they caught, you know, they brought all the ones in, you know, the fish that were good, but they threw the ones away that were not worth. They were worthless. They threw those fish away, but they kept the ones that were good, but threw away the ones that were worthless, that were no good.
Wow. To continue this abnormal conversation, I think people can get so caught up in their normal group to the point that they forget how hurt they are, how abnormal they are. They get so used in this group, this normal group, the Pentecostal group, this humanist group, this, you know, this woman group, this men group, whatever it is, that they forget that they have always dealt with some abnormal feelings, abnormal, you know, thoughts and emotions. And I say that because I guess people forget that they bleed.
Mm-hmm.
People forget that they bleed because they have been in groups where it's not talked about, where it can be covered up. I'll put it like that, where it can be masked. And once they step outside of that, people start to see the blood. Put it like that.
Yeah. Now that's Jason, that's good. I okay, I'm short for words now because I think that we need to bring all of these words together to see exactly how these words uh, come together as a theme, with this inclusivity being that last one. We talked about hate, we talked about unity, we talked about communication, and then we're talking about inclusivity. How can we bring all those words together as a common theme? Uh, Jason, I'm gonna send out a request for you to see if you come back on next Monday. We're just gonna bring all these words together and make them live and help people to understand why we need these words and why we need to start beginning to cease on that word called hate, so we can begin to include and have that conversation to see why. Why are we not including? Why are we hating so much? Why we can't be unified? Why we can't come together, and make this thing, work? Because, this is my favorite statement to say, is that I don't know. I'm studying this thing about heaven and hell, okay? I don't really know where heaven is. I don't really know where hell is, okay? I'm not going to proclaim to know that. I'm going to look back and I'm going to study it again. But if it's up, if heaven is up and hell is down, right? We all going to end up in one of those H's, right? And we're going to all end up in there together. I don't think people understand that wherever we end up, we're going to end up in there together, right? So if we can't doggone get along down in this world, where in the world? What's going to happen? We can't cause chaos everywhere, right? So we need to learn how to, get along with it. Like Tasha said, none of us are the same. Thank God he didn't make us all the same, right? So we all have different ways about us, right? But it's not like we can't have this conversation to see, what's going on with you in this, what's going on with you in that, and why we can't come together. And it takes a conversation for us to be able to, come together and unify, with each other. But rest assured, that good old gospel hymn from the Baptist hymnal that say we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be when we all see Jesus. We're going to sing and shout the victory, right? Everybody want to sing that song, but they missing that most important word in there. And that's that ALL word. And if we can't get along right here, God knows how we're going to get up into heaven and rejoice together. Okay, so I love this word, and I'm not gonna let this word go, because I love this word, and I think that we should all come in together and truly begin to love each other. I think about, I don't want to go into another conversation, but I am anyway. I think about that special that Dave Chappelle just did. If y'all know about that, the closure that Dave Chappelle did. I love Dave Chappelle. I really
haven't
do.
watched it yet.
Watch it. Okay. I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm just going to say this. The only reason that people are having such an uproar about this is because they haven't examined themselves. Did we not talk about this tonight? You have to examine yourself and really know who you are to be able to get a message out of something. If you don't get the negativity out of you, you ain't going to never get a good message out of anything. And if you really listen to what this young man said on this show, tears should have come from your eyes instead of chaos and anger and stuff like that. So I advise all of the ones that's listening to me. I know a lot of people probably don't like Dave Chappelle, probably because of some of his words that he uses, things like that. But the what's the word? The meaning from this special that he did on the closure, y'all, is awesome. And it has a lot to do with inclusivity, if you really listen to what he's saying. And again, if you can't get that message out of what he's saying, that means you harboring something. And you need to begin to evaluate and examine yourself and get some help. Go lay on somebody's sofa, okay? That's
what is it called again, Spirit Love?
The Closure. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
You need to go look at it. If you haven't looked at it, look at it. And when you look at it, listen to it with an open mind. I was gonna say something, but we got these hole in and dying people. I can't say what I want to say, but you just need to relax your mind while you looking at this show, The Closer. Relax your mind. Whatever you do to relax your mind and look at The Closer. Okay? So you can really get something out of it. Okay. Jason, thank you so much. Think about Monday and let me know. We're just going to try all these words together and get a common theme out of it to help our viewers and things. And then Tasha and I'll probably be ready to talk about what we're getting ready to do. This next step we're getting ready to do. Okay. What we're going to do, I'm going to give you, Tasha, you go ahead, and I'm going to get, I already gave my last words with that. And then Jason, we're going to give you the last say so. Go ahead, Tasha.
Well, y'all know who this is. This is Tasha, aka TC Knows. No, I do not know everything, but I just shared just a little bit of my experience with inclusivity, and I'm glad that I was in on this conversation tonight. Just keep an open mind. Just keep an open mind and an open heart, and you'll be surprised what you learn about yourself.
Boom.
Boom.
You like that? Did you hear me? Boom. Who is that? Boom.
I want to say thank you, Spirit Love, who I know as Pam, but with a softened heart. Always love being invited to this space. Tasha, I don't know, we probably met before once or twice, but thank you for inviting me here. A humanist, agnostic. Again, I'll say that out loud and proudly. Let's continue to learn how to include our own personal emotions, feelings, beliefs, so that it will help us to include other people as well. Let's love ourselves so we can love others.
Yes, I love it.
Awesome. I love that. That is good. Thank you so very much. And I will be getting back with you, Jason. I see you in the morning, as a matter of fact. Okay.
Be nice to see you.
I'll see you in the morning. Okay. All right. Love you guys. And there's nothing that you can do about it but love us back. Peace, joy, love, and happiness to you all. Good night.
Good night.